While everyone else might be excited for the next-gen standards of shoot man, drive car, explore city, another more family-friendly title has caught my attention over the past few days. And that game is Disney Infinity. Yes, coming from the same monolithic giant that closed several universally loved and adored studios, Disney have a little marvel that's destined to throw me back into my obsessive, reclusive, pop culture crazed childhood. And because the easiest way to digest anticipation is through ordered lists, here are my top 7 reasons to get excited about Disney Infinity. Number 1, it will feature all Disney properties. So let's start with the basics. Disney is more of a platform than a game. Disney want to have all the characters and properties in one coherent universe. And to explain all this away without resulting to a midichlorian cop-out, all the characters in the game are toys, so they all have this consistent, very stylized aesthetic. Now think about the amount that Disney owns. First of all, you've got all the films from Pinocchio and Snow White to the new Pixar and Bruckheimer blockbusters, and then you think about the recently acquired Marvel and Star Wars licenses. And then you've got all the Disney Channel shows like Recess and they own ABC, ESPN, and of course all the Disneyland parks. Number 2, it has real toys. Now this idea was first used in the Spyro Skylanders series. They're little vinyl figurines with RFID tags in the bottom, that when you place them onto a reader, their virtual likeness is transported into the game. And it really took off. Kids and adults alike loved collecting figurines, and some of them go for hundreds of pounds on eBay. And those are just characters made for a Spyro game that wasn't actually a Spyro game. When you think about Disney characters, people actually value them and will proudly display them on their shelves. Well, maybe not proudly, but... Number 3, each movie will have an individual campaign. At launch, there will be 4 character sets available. Monsters University, The Incredibles, The Lone Ranger, and Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a list of all the announced but not yet dated sets on Wikipedia. Now when you buy these sets, they come with world discs. So if I place a Monsters University disc and a Sully figure on the reader, I've loaded up a bespoke playset or a level for that movie. You might think this is limiting, but it really opens up the variety you can get in a game, as the playsets are specifically tailored to the characters. So with Pirates of the Caribbean you can create a sword-fighting platform excursion, whereas Cars will feature mainly driving cars. Now the point here is that it's different from something like the LEGO series, where whatever universe you're in, whether it's Batman, Indiana Jones or Star Wars, the gameplay is always the same. You're just punching people and building things. But with Disney, all the different universes will have very gameplay, so it won't feel stagnant or blocky. Number 4, all the characters have different abilities, so this is your incentive for forking out cash for vinyl figurines. Because even inside these tailored playsets, the characters will feel different. It's most obviously seen in the Incredibles playset, where you've got super strength, super stretch and super speed abilities. Now each campaign is said to be about 6 hours long, and I'm hugely skeptical of that. I think it's more likely to be closer to 3. But even when you consider you've got 3 characters in the starter pack, 3 world discs, that's 9 hours of gameplay, which isn't that bad, especially when you consider the massive second part of the game, which is number 5. Toy Box Mode. 2010's Toy Story 3 game introduced a sandbox mode where you can build your own town and populate it with toys and items you've unlocked, and just play around. A lot like toys from a toy box. Now Disney Infinity have taken this idea and opened it up to the entire Disney universe. In Toy Box mode, unlike the playsets, you can have any combination of characters and items. And Disney have really dug into the archive to give a massive range of items to play around with. In one playthrough I've seen Scrooge McDuck's house and the building from Wreck-It Ralph and the Tron Recognizer in the same toy box. When you're playing, you can equip something for your hand, like a toilet paper launcher or the item spawning magic wand, and a backpack, like Buzz Lightyear's jetpack. The marketing guys have likened it to emptying all your toys onto the floor and just playing pretend any way you'd like. And they're right! You can create little make-believe towns, racing courses or sports pitches. And stepping up from just smashing dolls together and going, now kiss, there's also a pseudo-programming platform with switches, triggers and item spawners. If Minecraft has taught us anything, it's that simple tools plus a dedicated player base creates astounding things. And if you think your creations are good enough to share with the world, if you submit them to Disney, they'll choose the best ones and allow everyone to download them. Of course, when Disney say the best ones, they mean the best ones that don't feature swastikas or dick. Even so, I think that's cool, especially since characters, power discs and the user-generated levels are totally cross-platform. So you can bring your figurines to a friend's house and play around in the same sandbox. Now local play is limited to 2 people, but with online you can play with up to 4 friends. Number 6. Blind packaged power-ups. Now for those of you that don't know what blind packaging is, it's mainly for collectible items like Pokemon cards or Vinylmation figurines where you can't see what's inside the boxes, so each item has a rarity value. Now Disney will be selling things called power discs. Inside the game they'll unlock power upgrades, unique vehicles and world-changing themes. You can equip 2 different power-ups at a time that have an alchemy effect, generating a random 3rd buff. These are sold in small packs of 2 where you don't know what's inside, a lot like Pokemon cards. and each disc has a rarity rating, a lot like Pokemon cards, and some of them are coated in foil to make them shiny, a lot like Pokemon cards. Number 7, it'll cost quite a lot. Now, Infinity's coming out for all current gen platforms in addition to the 3DS and Wii U on August 23rd. It's been confirmed for next gen platforms, but they're not really talking about that yet. The starter pack, which contains Sully, Jack Sparrow, Mr. Incredible and their respective world discs, will cost £60. 3 packs of characters will cost £27, and individually they'll cost £14 each. Now, I definitely can't justify spending that much money on just a virtual character, but the figures are actually quite high quality, so I can imagine kids wanting to buy them just to play with. The blind package power disc will set you back £4 for a pack of 2, so while it's not something you want to buy a couple of packs every week, every fortnight buying one might be fun to build up a collection, especially if your friends have the same thing and you can trade and swap with them. And that's what Disney Infinity is going to do. It's going to recreate those interactions we had when we were about 9 or 10 or 11. Or 15. Firstly, you've got that imaginative freeform play that I used to get from dumping all my Happy Meal toys out onto that rug that looked like a town and just playing around. And it's got that collectible, swappable, foil-packed aspect like Pokemon cards that dominated so many of my lunchtime and after school breaks. Also, it's Disney. I'd love them to release Mickey, Goofy and the gang as soon as possible, but let us know in the comments which characters you'd like to play as. Doug? The genie from Aladdin? Jeff Bridges? And we've got a bit of a schedule together and we'll be making more content soon, so let us know in the comments what you'd like to see more of. We'll catch you next time.